in terms of some of the other things that you want to see. A couple of questions, and then we'll kind of get to the comments here and close out. One of the big ones that I got was traffic. And when you look at the neighboring towns along 98, you see Gulf Breeze and others expanding. You see more lanes coming up, landscape medium sidewalks, boulevard trees, all this kind of stuff. What about for Navarre? So even if Navarre was to incorporate, you're not going to see a lot of change from the city immediately. It's going to take time to set it up. As you've talked about, we're just kind of early in this process. During your term coming up, what are kind of some other interim steps or projects that you would like to see in this area that maybe come from other sources?
I've said this from the get-go. You know, when Sophie and I moved to Navarre, and especially here as your representative, when I travel from Laurel Hill to Jay to Milton down to Navarre, you get to see what other communities have, right? You get to travel Highway 90, you get to go into Okaloosa County. You see what other areas have as far as landscaping, as far as lights, as far as sidewalks,
pedestrian access, the walk-over bridge, right? Because the park, to get from the park to the restaurants, I've taken my kids across 98 once, never again. Yeah, it's terrifying.
I never would. I see people bicycling on 98. So is there and I actually had a patient hit on 98 on a bicycle. I said, well, why on earth? You ought to know you're taking your life in your hands. But it doesn't have to be that way.
Exactly.
It doesn't. Now again, how we get there is up to you guys. But to answer the question, no, I see the same things you see, and it's just a matter, I think, of having good leadership.
Okay. So in the short term, right, like in the next year or two, working on those projects actively with the county and whomever else you can get, right? Is that one thing that I think, a point I would like to make, I think we need to be courageous. And hopefully there's people out there today that think I'm a little courageous for being on this show tonight. Yeah. Because, the county commissioners, God bless them, it is a thankless job. Yeah. They take care of a huge swath of land. I mean, Santa Rosa County, guys, for me to cover my district, I have to drive over an hour from one corner to the other. And your county commissioners are responsible for all this area. I don't know how they do it, Wes. And so I think it requires some courageous leadership. And it's difficult for your commissioners to take bold, courageous action when they're being bogged down in all this mindless warfare, all this tabloid warfare that's happening. It must paralyze them at times. They must think, well, I'm not getting involved in that. Yeah. All I know is, for example, Okaloosa County, you mentioned the traffic problem, 98. We're trying to find a solution in 98. I actually got funding for a 3-mile stretch of a parallel road running parallel to 98. Yeah. But it's on the Okaloosa side, right? Why? Because they brought money to the table. They had money. They had skin in the game. See, people don't understand that.
It's easy to get that appropriation for Okaloosa County. We need to do the same thing in Santa Rosa. And again, I have faith in our people to get us there. Yeah. It's just that we can't tie their time up with these mindless fights. When we're sitting there using Board of County Commissioner meetings as ways to have a knockdown drag out, that takes time away from their work. Now they can't address these issues that we need addressed. So like I said, guys, be patient with your county commissioners. Don't waste their time with these he said, she said squabbles. Let's work together. Let's remember what it was like in those stages when we were looking for Cassie. I mean, I was so proud of our community then. We can do that as a county. Yeah, we can.
Absolutely.